So as I've said in multiple videos, 2023 has been one of the best years for gaming, bar none. You know, there's been a little bit of everything for everybody, whether you like first-person shooters, adventure games, RPGs, everything like that. But one of the things we need to not gloss over is the fact that there hasn't just been huge AAA games. There's been a great year this year for indie games, such as games like Sea of Stars, which honestly, that was going to be my next review, but the last level, there's a glitch waiting on a patch for it to get through, so I can finish and get that to you guys, so be on the lookout for that. But another game that came out indie style was Cocoon, and Cocoon was a game that we saw during the Xbox showcase last year, 2022, when they said, hey, expect all these games over the next 12 months. Obviously, it didn't end up there, but I was like always interested in this game because I'm getting more into these, you know, short 5, 6, 7 hour, you know, indie style games that are kind of simple, but also tell a, you know, really good story just from playing the game. Not a lot of controls, but you really get to absorb the atmosphere of the game and get a real feel of what the publisher and the developer is really trying to tell there. So today I'm going to review the game. I beat it in around 5.5 hours, I believe, which was around the same amount of time that says on how long to beat, so that was pretty accurate. But we're going to talk about it, what I liked about it, if I recommend it for you guys to check out. You know, it's on Game Pass, so you can definitely just, if you're a subscriber already, go ahead, download it. It doesn't take a lot of memory, and like I said, beat it in like 5 hours. So if you're new to the channel, we are on the way to hopefully 1,000 subscribers. We're so close to 500, so please make sure you do hit that subscribe button for me, leave a like on this video, and let's get into it right after we roll the intro. So Cocoon is a indie style puzzle game developed by Geometric Interactive and is also directed by Jep Carlson. And if you don't know Jep Carlson, or Jeppy, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, he also did do Limbo and also Inside, which are two games that I played. I think it was Inside I played and beat. It was on Game Pass. Limbo I didn't beat, but you've definitely heard the names of these two games before. These are games that have been highly, you know, rated over the years, and they're that simple, atmospheric, just one button to play the game. You kind of move and maybe press you know, A or X just to interact with the environment and solve puzzles. And it's kind of like these games all lean into telling a story without having to have any voice acting, no text on the screen, no narrative, nothing. You just play through the puzzles, kind of learn how the world works, and then that kind of tells the story for you. So let's talk about the controls and the gameplay and everything like that. Like I said, the story, there's not much there, or what you can kind of tell just from playing the game, but how the game really works is you kind of use, you know, a thumbstick to move, and then you press A to interact with the environment. That's it. You're either going to be pulling stuff, picking up these orbs throughout the game that have different abilities to them, different color orbs, and solving puzzles that way. So there's, I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, but I'll just name a few of the orbs. Some of them are, there's an orange orb, which lets you like create these invisible bridges wherever they're, you know, available to be created. You have the bluish green orb, which controls water, and you can have these like water towers that kind of activate up and down that you can go on. There's a white orb that you can kind of shoot lasers on if you have these special like markings on the ground that you can use that way. And then there are also these small little puzzles that you can see where they're like these interactive pegs that come out the ground, and that'll have a little drone come out once you solve it in the right order. And that drone will open, you know, different gateways for you and things like that. Now, the really interesting part of the game is it's not very straightforward, and there's not a whole tutorial through the game naturally. But what it does is you play the game, you'll start solving puzzles and being like, oh, that's how you do this. And then as the game progresses, the puzzles get a lot more complex and more, you know, not convoluted, but kind of like all the things you've learned kind of come into one. So you kind of learn how to solve puzzles through playing the game, if that makes, you know, if that makes any sense. Now, the cool part about the game that takes it to another level with these orbs and things is you can enter these orbs. So you're kind of going into different worlds and things like that, and that becomes part of the puzzle. So there are parts where you can go into an orb and then take another orb across and then hit one of the platforms to come out of the orb you were in and end up on the other side of an object that you would have never been able to go through because you can't either fit the orb through it, or you needed that orb to solve a puzzle on one side to get it to the other side, a lot of things like that. And hopefully watching some of the video I have on screen will kind of clear it up for you guys, because it is a little hard to understand. Now the other part of the game is, with a lot of puzzle games are like, this is more like a puzzle adventure game. Like I said, there are certain paths you want to like take and be like, oh, I wonder what's over here. You could check it out and you'll find these like I think they're called moon guardians or whatever, and you'll get achievements for that. They're kind of like little, not Easter eggs, but like unlockables, or things you find in, you see it in games all the time, like the Lost Souls and Devil May Cry or something like that. Like they're just another part of the game. If you want to get that full 1,000 gamer score out of the game, you can go find those, go off a path that you wouldn't normally go, or maybe you got a new puzzle that you unlocked and opened a new path. Make sure you check every winding way that you can, or if you want to replay the game, go through areas that you weren't going through before, and then that'll kind of find those for you. And then as far as the music goes, it's one of those like very subtle, not white noise, but like I said, that atmospheric background sound that's not like overbearing. Like this isn't some soundtrack you're gonna look up and add to your Spotify playlist. But it was pretty cool, and I looked it up. Actually, they did use like synth sounds only. They didn't do any like recordings, or like people like knock on a wall and they'll use that as like a sound effect in the game. They did it all completely through synth. So it kind of leads to the game where the game seems not futuristic per se, but like I don't know, like it kind of has like a sci-fi feel to it. You're not a cockroach. It says Cocoon, but you're some type of beetle type of thing, so kind of like a cockroach. But yeah, I think it really nails it where it's needed. If you don't want to listen to it, you want to throw on something else to listen to, you can, but I think it does add to the game, so it's pretty cool. The other thing I liked about the game was there are boss fights in the game, believe it or not. So there are certain boss fights, again, not trying to spoil it, but you'll kind of have to use different abilities for each boss. Like there's one where you kind of have the boss attack a platform, he gets stuck, and then you attack him from there. Or another one where you kind of are floating overhead and you drop something onto the boss's head, stuff like that. So I think the bosses are pretty cool. They're not super challenging, and again, I don't think there's really a game over in the game. Like if the boss like hurts you, you'll kind of just go back and you just gotta fight him from the beginning of the phase or whatever. Bosses have multiple phases, or you gotta hit them 4 or 5 times. You'll just have to restart it, but it didn't take you that long. Like there was one boss I kept just messing up on, like it was just me messing up, what I had to do maybe 4 or 5 times, but other than that, pretty good. Now, as far as the lasting appeal of the game, like I said, it's pretty short. It's around 5 hours, so you can beat it honestly in one sitting, maybe 2 sittings if you break it up. But if you want to get all the achievements, like I said, you can go through again. It might take you an extra hour or so, or maybe you do it while you're playing the game so you're not have to backtrack. But as far as replaying the game a bunch of times, I don't know. When it comes to puzzle games, you kind of, maybe you wait like a year or 2 and then replay and be like, oh, that's how you solve this puzzle. You kind of forget, because if you kind of remember how to solve everything, it's not as fun. You're just going to breeze through it. I don't know if you want to speed run the game or whatever, but yeah, 5 hours is pretty much where it goes. And as far as the final score, so Metacritic, it does have an 89 overall, which is very good. User scores are around like a 8.3. I don't really look too deep into user scores. They're kind of like Yelp reviews or product reviews online. You got someone who gave it a 4 because they thought the bosses weren't all that. I don't know, it's just dumb reasons to give it a 4. Like that's kind of crazy, but I do give the game a 9 out of 10. So nothing like, again, I think it was really well done, great puzzles, everything like that. It didn't like knock my socks off, which is the reason I didn't give it a 10 out of 10, but like there's nothing that really made me like knock it down, or like there's no negatives. It's just there wasn't anything like super spectacular for me to say like this is a 10 out of 10, you gotta play. I do think if you like these kind of games, you like Limbo, Inside, games like that, then yeah, for sure, this is a game you should pick up or play on Game Pass if you're a subscriber already, but it's not 100% necessary. And there you have it. There's my review of Cocoon. Like I said, 9 out of 10 from me. A nice short 5-hour experience. Definitely something if you're into puzzle games. You need a palate cleanser from some other games you're playing, like Starfield or Lies of P, which I'm working on getting through, so we could get a review for that game out as well. It's a nice change of pace game, so I definitely recommend it if you have time, or if you're subscribed to Game Pass, might as well put it on. So with all that being said, that does it for this review. Please let me know what you think of the game down below. Please subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I'm really pushing for it, especially since we're near the end of the year. So we're trying to beef up the channel and everything. And, as you can see, I got a nice new background for this video. So definitely appreciate it, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, like I said, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.